Okay, an important lesson we got here, I want to share with you all. So, over time, learning different things and setting goals for my life and following my dreams, I found out there's something missing. What is that? I called it the philosophy of regulation. It's a philosophy of mine. I just put it there for myself to be able to not give up on my dreams. But how? So, after observing millions and millions of ways and paths and ideas and concepts and all these different things, I found out that we people, we tend to forget our dreams and our goals. Why is that? We tend to forget our reasons and our values and everything just like that. Well, the answer is pretty much clear. The answer is that evolution do not want you to become something else. You know, over time and time, if you just go and look at people's genetic, you find out that they get their genetic from their ancestors. The way they look, the way they behave, and everything like that. And if we human, we change just like this every day, normally evolution cannot go to another step. You know, imagine you had your grandpa, and your grandpa could have failed in some particular way, and he would have changed all his mindset and all his attitude and all his behavior. You know, your father couldn't be like the original form of your grandpa. And imagine if your father would have changed all his behavior and all his, attitude and everything. You had zero chance to become like your father, your original, original genetic of your father. So because it's going to change, every day that we learn things, it's going to be coded somewhere in our genetic, somewhere in that long string of DNA. So evolutionary wise, you're not able to change yourself that fast. So maybe over living more than 50 years, 60 years, you'll understand something, you have some, life lesson. Maybe you find some particular pattern which you don't see in yourself and you try so hard to get to that particular standard. But you can't change the whole picture. Just the small details, only small details. That's why we know human is not that changeable. Like, you cannot run from yourself. You're born with something, and the only thing that you can do is improve in it. So, because of that, we tend to forget the lessons that we got from life. So maybe there's some failure you have, maybe there are some mistakes you do, and you say to yourself, I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going to follow that pattern again. But surprisingly, after a moment, you find yourself exactly stuck in the same position. And you tell yourself, what the hell is going on here? Why did I stuck again in the same position? I didn't expect that. But nature expects that pretty much like normal. Like you're gonna repeat that again because you are not gonna change. Well, I observed that by watching at least over 1,000 people, because I tried to interview over 2,500 people over the last 5 years, and I collected them and their information in my charts. And oftentimes I talk to them and they tell me that they had no change, despite the fact that I told them there's some way that you can change your behavior, you can reprogram your mind, but the result was like nothing. And I told myself, all right, Cyrus, you observed that and you found out it's quite impossible to change yourself. So you told other people to change, but they were incapable of doing that. How about working on yourself? Let's see how we can change ourselves in a way that it's become visible to others, that you can show others that change is possible. But it's hard. Yes, it's hard, but possible. So I came up with this philosophy of regulation. What is that? Because we forget everything, doesn't matter how hard you try to plan something for the future. You're gonna forget that the day after, a week after, a month after. Because it's your, how can I put this on? It's your thing. It's your uniqueness. And I told myself, Cyrus, whenever you think about something, try to understand it perfectly. Try to observe enough that you know this is your thing. This is the thing that you like to do. So you have to find enough reasons and you have to see enough of its future, where it's going to lead you. See the end, stack your logic on top of each other and get to some conclusion. When you got to that conclusion, you know you're going to go on that very particular path or not. If you chose you're going to go in there, tell yourself that whatever from this moment I choose to go and see the end of it, I'm going to do it no matter what. Because a year from now, I'm going to hate that thing. I'm going to hate it because they're not going to be easy things. They're a valuable thing. And you have to do it and do not question your decision. Because once in life, you stacked your logic on top of each other, you saw the bigger picture and you decided that you want to do it. So if you get back to that very particular time, you're going to see that you need to do that and you have enough reason. But a year from that, you're going to forget all that reason and all that thing. But one thing going to remain, your decision to go in that particular path. So, it's been like, 6 months that I came up with this philosophy. And I told myself, I'm not going to start what I think is not valuable to me. I'm not going to start doing things if I don't feel it's a need for me and society and everything. But if I chose to do it, and I told myself, all right, I'm going to do it until the rest of my life, doesn't matter what comes up, I'm going to trust myself. I'm going to trust myself and I'm going to do it. Even though I hate it, I have to do it. Because once I loved it, once I knew it is valuable, but not anymore. So, until this moment, you should be able to know what I'm talking about the regulation. But there's some exceptions as well. Maybe you thought about something, a year ago, and you think you should not do it anymore and you need to pivot. So these are the things that, you have to understand it very deeply. When to pivot. If it failed, what are the parameters here? Did you fail? Maybe, all the conditions just changed. Maybe it's not valuable anymore. You thought you had an idea, you had a brilliant idea. You wanted to do it a year ago, but it's not valuable anymore today. Nobody is using that opinion. Nobody needs that opinion. Nobody gonna understand what you're saying. So you have to pivot. But imagine everything you wanted to do, it still works. And more importantly, the philosophy of regulation, it's gonna be on things which are so important. Like the level of importance of that particular thing is legend. Like, you have to do it and it's a need for society, yourself, future. So, yeah, philosophy of regulation. If you liked it, you can apply that to your life as well, because it's a very important thing. Like I observed it over many lives, and people are giving up on their dreams and on their life pretty much easy because they forget once something was a need in their life, it's not anymore. And even though it's not the time to pivot as well, they just lost their interest. But when one thing is very important, doesn't matter how much you like it. The more important thing here is you need it. Other people are needing it, and you're part of a society. As much as you like to live, you need to serve as well. And it's kind of a very complicated topic, but try to remember that. I don't know, write your opinion somewhere, write your goals somewhere, write your logic somewhere. And if you forgot, do not forget the reason once you start doing that. Hope it's going to solve a bit of your problem. Thanks.